If you already own Kemet, do you need to buy Blood and Sand? If you own neither game, which one should you buy? Stick around and I'll offer a full side-by-side comparison on Legendary Tactics. Kemet Blood and Sand is the game I've been anticipating the most this year, but you'll forgive me if my anticipation is tempered with doubt. After all, the original Kemet is my favorite board game. If a game is already near perfect, is there any sense in buying the second edition? By the end of this video, I'll let you know if you need to buy both games, and if you can only buy one, which one do you get? If you've seen my reboxing of the game, you'll know that I had some doubts about the game as it came out of the box and went back in, but I didn't review the game at that time because I hadn't played it yet. Now that it's gotten to the table, I'm ready to weigh in. I'll break it down into a number of elements, and I'll name a winner for each category, either Kemet or Kemet BS. Okay, well, maybe that's a little bit unfortunate for an acronym. We'll just call it Blood and Sand. Let's start with the natural starting place, the rulebook. One danger of playing a newer version of a game you already love is that you'll tend to learn the new game based on how it's similar to or different from the old one. For me, this was the case with Game of Thrones, the Iron Throne board game, which was based on another of my favorite games, Cosmic Encounter. And personally, I never liked the rule changes in the game because they took an amazing game and changed rules that didn't need changing. So I wonder if that's the same with this game or not. Let's find out. Bearing that in mind, I still didn't like the experience of learning Blood and Sand. Rather than seeing the new rules and being excited to try them or feeling like, wow, they finally fixed that problem I always thought was there, I felt like they didn't really improve the gameplay, and worse, they made it more complex for players to learn. Subtly more complex, but still, just a few additional rules and extra pieces that don't really need to be there. It isn't really much of an improvement over the 1.5 edition of the rules created on the Board Game Geek. What I love about the first edition is how accessible it is, even to non-gamers. And yet there's still a good deal of complexity in the game for veterans. I found 2 typos or mistakes, grammatical mistakes in the rulebook, and as an English teacher that always bothers me. I mean, if you're going to publish a rulebook, please make sure it's properly edited. Also, the quality of the rulebook material was not really great, very flimsy, and the rulebook is really hard to navigate. I mean, I know this game inside and out. I know it, it's my favorite game, and I'm still trying to find out why I want veteran tokens. Well, okay, I found it. There was one tiny little line that explains why you want them. We'll get to that later. The images for really important elements in the rulebook, for instance, the board setup, are tiny. It seems like they're trying to skimp on a couple pages of paper instead of really showing this game off. The component list is just a list of words. There's no accompanying images to show you what the pieces are called. Anyways, this is the least user-friendly rulebook I've read in a very long time. And overall though, the original Kemet rulebook, it does have its flaws too, but I find it slightly better than the Blood and Sand rulebook, and I like the rules better in the original Kemet. So that's 1 point for Kemet. Let's move to components. Another focal piece for the game are the pyramids, and the original game made use of oversized 4-sided dice with a marble look in their respective colors. They're very functional, but I'm not sure you would have seen any pyramids quite like these in Egypt, so they're a little bit more abstract. Hands down, the new pyramids, for me, that stack and that are built over time, are so much cooler. They even have the sweet little gem at the top for some eye candy. So for me, this is one of the best improvements on the game, and this is an easy win for Blood and Sand. The score is 1-1. Let's go to the board. The map is really, really important for the gameplay. And as you can see, the original Kemet board is slightly bigger. Does it matter? Well, there's a little more room to breathe for your units, and also bear in mind the units are smaller in the original game, so they fit better into those thin spaces. And this matters when you get all your units packed in there with lots of players. You need a little bit of room to breathe and move them around, otherwise it looks like this. When I played Blood and Sand, I felt like it was a giant mosh pit of warriors with no real room for them to all fit in. Also, unit mobility has really changed as a result of the design of the map, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So what did they improve? I would say the artwork is on par, perhaps a little darker in Blood and Sand, but overall, not much improved, not much worse, so I wouldn't say that either of them outshines the other. They're both nice. The most notable difference with the maps is that the original map is 2-sided, and this accommodates different numbers of players, whereas Blood and Sand is only 1-sided and it uses the storm overlays. So functionally, I prefer the 2-sided board because it's customized and scaled to the number of players, rather than just omitting half the board. If I'd splurged and gotten the much larger playmat rather than the stock board, I think this one would go to Blood and Sand. But if I compare board versus board, Kemet gets the win. That's 2 points for Kemet, 1 for Blood and Sand. Let's look at mobility now. The new map has much more ease of movement. There are 9 obelisks on the original map and 10 on the new map. They're essentially a teleportation service. The new map also features military harbors that can transport you to trading harbors or to your own military harbor. Or you can travel from a trading harbor into another trading harbor or to the military harbor in front of your city. Confused yet? I find it unnecessarily hard to remember these restrictions. And I find when I was teaching others how to play, they had a hard time remembering where am I allowed to leave from and where am I allowed to go to. There's also 17 power tiles that can increase your movement speed in Blood and Sand rather than the 12 or I guess 14 if you include the black powers in the base game. But does this movement make the game better? I say not. What all this movement means is that you can get anywhere, anytime, much more easily. It reduces the tactical acumen you need to navigate your units where you want them, and it means that battles are almost constant. It also means that you don't need to compete for limited power tiles since there are so many available. This game certainly didn't need a huge infusion of mobility. I'm not sure why they worked so hard to just go way overboard on this, but that's 3 points to Kemet and 1 point to Blood and Sand. On to organization. Looking at the organization, you can see that Kemet, the original Kemet, was not designed with expansions or ease of setup in mind. I bought aftermarket solutions and organized it myself, and this is absolutely essential for this game. Without the coin sleeves, it takes a long time to get all the power tiles set up. The box is bigger for the new game, and there are trays to sort everything. And in my original, I upgraded the baggies and the power tile sorters, and that was a really great call, also in Blood and Sand. But if you're just buying this package as a whole, this is an easy win for Blood and Sand. So that's 3-2 for the original Kemet. On to the miniatures. So the showpiece of the game. These are extremely cool in both games. Each set has its own benefits though. You may need to start keeping your own score here because this one comes down to preference. The original minis in their stock form are brushed or washed with dark highlights that bring out the texture on the minis. The Blood and Sand minis are much larger. Really thick plastic too, it's nice, but the plastic is lighter in color, so they look a little bit more like toys and a little bit less like characters on a board. And there's no contrast on them, they're completely uniform. So, do you prefer the aesthetic or the size? This is what you need to answer to choose the winner here. If you love painting your minis, then you'll probably like the new ones. But for me, I prefer the originals. And incidentally, so do my kids. So that's 4-2 for Kemet. If you have your own thoughts on the expansion, by the way, please be sure to add them in the comments below, especially if you disagree with this assessment. On to player boards. The artwork, the coloration, and the new slots or the divots in the player board are a definite upgrade. There are also slots for buy a power tile tokens. The problem is I'm failing to see why these are needed. When you raise a pyramid of a new color, you place a corresponding token on one of the empty spaces. And these tokens do absolutely nothing for you other than let you know that you can buy power tiles from that color. But we already knew that we couldn't buy tiles for the pyramids we didn't own, so I'm torn on this one because the new tokens once again just complicate the process and confuse new players. Ultimately though, I give Blood and Sand the point on this count because I do love how the prayer point marker stays where it's supposed to on these boards, and I also really do like the contrasting colors on the different player boards, so we're at 4-3 for the original Kemet. By the way, if you're getting value from this review, please consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this, and also liking the video if you want to help us out. There are some new elements to this game. For instance, you get a free level 1 power tile at the start of the game. That's cool, it helps to get your engine going a little bit early. However, this would be an easy house rule to add to the original Kemet. There's also a new kind of damage in the combat system. This is called unblockable damage. But the card doesn't have a negative sign. It has a squiggly line. In original Kemet, with this card, you lost 2 troops when you launched this attack, and the symbol was unmistakably clear. Now you either deliver or receive 2 squiggles of unblockable damage. So does that mean you deliver 2 unblockable damage to the opponent, or do you take 2 damage? So this adds an unnecessary complication to the game that isn't explained in the rules. In original Kemet, shields used to mean something. With unblockable damage, they become irrelevant, and battles become way less strategic and way more random based on the cards you happen to draw. But ultimately, to answer that question, that squiggly line is meant to be a negative, and you are supposed to lose 2 units that you can't block that damage on. But it's just extra complicated. I don't like it. Veteran tokens are the other new element. If a player participates in a battle without winning any fame points, they get a veteran token. If the defender wins, they would get 2 veteran tokens. During the night phase, players can discard veteran tokens to gain prayer points, and that's the currency of the game. So this mechanic encourages people to participate in battles, and that seems good in theory. The problem is it ends up feeling like everyone's a winner all the time. I prefer that the winner of the battle win and the loser have their soul crushed and their heart ripped out rather than getting a participation ribbon. I'm really shocked that there aren't any tangible improvements to these original rules, and I'd rather have the streamlined rule set since the new rules only detract from my gaming experience. So Kemet is up 5-3. On to the upgrades. Possibly the biggest and most important upgrade for me was the first edition only included 1 copy of the power tile explanation booklet. So I actually went out and made my own photocopies because that's what you need to do in a game. Everybody needs their own copies, otherwise it's blatantly obvious what tile you're going to buy next. And you really need one for every single player. Blood and Sand delivers on this. There's 5 copies, so that's a point for Blood and Sand. 5-4 for original Kemet still though. On to the expansions. So I have all of the expansions for the original game. Seth is not one that gets to the table with my gaming group all that much, but the Taciti expansion was really good because it introduced the new black technologies. I mean, the priests in it, I never used those, and they frankly weren't that fun. So, but the black tiles add a lot of choice to the game. Blood and Sand comes with these built in, so that's a big selling point for this edition. So that puts us to 5-5. It's a dead tie. There are some new Divine Intervention cards in Blood and Sand. Let's take a look. If it hasn't become abundantly clear to you yet, I don't like spending a game with my nose in a poorly organized rulebook rather than enjoying the game. So when I look at this new Tactical Support DI card, I get a little frustrated when I see a symbol that really seems to have absolutely no relationship to any sensible real-world application. Likewise, check out the Sandworm Power Tile and tell me what you think that means. I know this is complicated, and I know it's hard to express this in small little pictures, but again, there really aren't any valuable additions to these card sets, and this overcomplicated iconography just muddles the game up. I mean, the Sandworm's pretty cool though, so that is a bonus. I'm going to give iconography to the original, more simple Kemet, so that's 6-5 for Kemet. Hopefully I've given you enough information so that you can make your own decisions separate from mine, but overall I'm fairly disappointed with this result. This is still my favorite board game, don't get me wrong, but if I'm going to spend a lot of money on a second edition, I really want to see it improved on almost every level. I want a better map, I want better minis, I want everything to improve, I want the rulebook to be streamlined and flawless. So to answer my original question, do you need to own both versions of this game? This is a resounding no. One or the other will do. That's absolutely fine. If you've got the original, I would actually say don't bother getting this one. They took a really streamlined, elegant game, and they really changed very little other than to overcomplicate it. I know that Tom Vassell disagrees with me on this final verdict, but based on my scoring system, I would buy the original Kemet over Blood and Sand. The elements that matter most, the board, the minis, the rulebook, and also, most importantly, the ease of teaching new players this game so it gets to the table. They're all better in the first edition. So long as it includes the black power tiles when I pull this game into the cupboard next time, regrettably, it will be my beat up copy of Kemet that I pull out, not Blood and Sand. Thanks so much for your time today.